Hey guys, in this video I will show you how to build an Instagram-like carousel postcard with React, Material UI and Swiperjs. Now before I say anything, let me give you a quick overview of this application. If I try to swipe the image, see the beautiful animation happens, and it also has a looping feature. See, you can also do it with the keyboard. Now I am not using my mouse anymore, I'm using my keyboard. Okay, so it works. It also has two arrow buttons to swipe the images from left to right. See, it works. Okay, this is the project we are going to build in this video. Now for this project we are going to use Reactjs. For React we will use Create React App. Now if you don't know Reactjs, then this video is not for you. Please first learn Reactjs basics, then come back to this video. Now for styling we will use Material UI. If you don't know Material UI, that's completely fine. You can still follow along, but if you want to learn Material UI, then I have a video series on my channel. You can check that out. Material UI is very easy to learn. It won't take much time. I have also written a blog post about 10 reasons why I love Material UI, where I have explained 10 reasons why you should use Material UI. I will put the link on the description, you can check that out. And finally, for the swiping feature, we are going to use Swiperjs. Alright, enough talking, let's get started. So I have just created a Create React app. I've also removed all the unnecessary codes. I've also added the images. Inside the media folder, there is a post avatar image and some images for carousels. And also the dev server is running at port 3000. I have also installed some packages. I have installed the Swiper package, then the Material UI core, Material UI icons. All of the commands that I'm going to use in this video will be on the GitHub repository. I will put the link on the description. So if you want to follow along with me, just follow the instruction of project readme file. Okay, so let's get started. So first of all, I need to import some component from Material UI. So I needed this grid component and the typography component. So let's add them here. So I will create a grid container, grid, and then the container prop. So if you don't know anything about Material UI grid system, then you can watch the video on the cards. I'm going to need two grid items, one for the header and another one for the cards. So grid item, I will copy it. And inside the first grid item, I will add a typography component. And variant will be H3. That means I want the H3 style. And the text will be Insta Carousel. I also need to add some inline styling. So style. First, I want to set height. It will be 25 view height. I also want to make display grid and place items. To center. And this will make the typography component horizontally and vertically at the center. This is not horizontally centered. Okay, so I need to give a access prop and the value will be 12. That means I want this component to take the whole width of the screen. Okay, so now it's center. And for the second item, actually this grid item will also be a container, and I want this to take the whole screen width. So I will add a grid item here. So item, and this grid item will hold our postcard, this one, this whole card. So I want this grid item to be center horizontally. So I will add a property to this container. So justify content will be center, and inside the grid item I need to add the postcard, but I haven't really created yet, so I will add some text. This is a text. Okay, so now it is horizontally at the center. So let's create our postcard component. I will just add the postcard here, postcard. I will also import that, import postcard from ./postcard. So let's create the file. So I will create inside the source directory postcard.jsx. I'm using a snippet extension for creating custom boilerplate components. I will add the extension link on the description. So RAFCE. I don't need these divs. I will import some components and images. Okay, so these are the components and icons that I need, and these are the images from the media directory. So first one is the card component, which is the container of this whole card. Then we have a card header. For this header part, we have a card media for images, card content for this text. Then I have a card actions component, which will store these icons. Then I have an avatar for the header. I have an icon button, which will make the icon look like a button. Then I have the typography, and I have some components: favorite icon, share icon, more word icon, and the comment icon. Okay, so let's add the card. So card, then card header, it will be a self-closed component. It will take multiple props. The first prop will be avatar. And this will take a React node, not a React component. Okay, so I will just pass the avatar. Avatar component takes a source prop, src. So src, and this src prop will take the image for the avatar. I have imported as avatar image, so I will pass it here, avatar image. Then I will pass the title prop. The title could be a string or also a React node, and here I will just say just a carousel. Then it will also take subheader optionally, subheader, and I will just pass the current date. So new date dot to date string. It will also take an action prop, which will be a React node. And in the action, I'm going to use an icon, this icon, which is the more word icon. So I will add an icon button. Then more word icon. Okay, so let's see what we have now. Okay, so it looks like this. Let me just zoom it for you. Okay, so it looks like this. Now I will add an image, actually a single image. Later I will add the swipe feature. To use that, I'm going to use card media. it takes an image prop, and I will pass any of the image. By the way, all of the images will be on the GitHub repository. Okay, so we don't see the image because we need to add some style. We need to give height to the card media to see the image. To add styles, I will use Material UI make styles function, which allows you to use CSS in JS inside Material UI. So import make styles from Material UI core/styles. And if you want to learn about make styles, please watch the video on the cards. So let's call the make styles function make styles. It takes an object, and here you need to first specify the class name that you want to use as property. I will call it media. It will also be an object, and inside this object we need to specify our styles. Now you can give any height you want, but I want the styles to be a little bit different. I don't want to use any kind of percentage value. I want the image to keep the aspect ratio same. Doesn't really matter what the screen size really is. Now to do that from scratch is a little bit tricky. So if you want me to show you how to do that, just let me know in the comment section and I will create a video about that. But with card media component, that's easy. You just have to make the height 0, and then you need to use padding top, and the value will be a percentage value, and it depends on what aspect ratio you want. If you want the aspect ratio to be 16:9, which is the most common aspect ratio, for example, the ratio of the 1920 into 1080p videos is 16:9. So if you want that aspect ratio, you have to use 56.25%. And if you want your image to be square like this, then you need to use 100% padding top, which I'm going to do. And make styles function returns us a hook. So let's do that. Use styles, and let's call the use styles hook const, and use styles will return us object, and I want to restructure that. And the property of that returned object is exactly same as the class name that you have inserted here. So here it is media, and the value is just a string, which is the class name, and we have to attach that to our card media. Again, if you don't know what I'm talking about, just watch the video. So class name, value will be media. Okay, so let's save the file. Okay, so we have an image, but it looks smaller. So let's see what is the problem. Okay, so I have missed a prop here. So this grid item should take 3 grid space. So excess will be 3. Okay, so now it looks good. So let's add these icons. So after card media, we need to use the card actions component. So card actions, and inside the card actions component we will just add the icons. So icon button, and the icon that I want to use first is the favorite icon, and I will copy these lines. I will paste it 2 times, and the second icon will be the comment icon, and the third icon will be share icon. And card actions will have a prop disable spacing. Okay, so now we have 3 icons here. Now let's add the content. So after card actions, card content. Now you can put whatever text you want. I'm going to use typography. So typography. And I will just paste some dummy text. And I will also add some props. Variant will be body 2. Color will be text secondary. And component will be P. Okay, so let's save the file. And Prettier has just formatted the code. And if you want to learn how to set up ESLint in Prettier with TypeScript and React, then I have a video about it. I will put the link on the description. Okay, so this is our card content, our dummy text. Now it is time to add our swiping feature, the main section of this video. And I need to import Swiper. So I have imported from Swiper core, the Swiper core. I have imported some modules. I also need to import some CSS style sheets from Swiper. These are the CSS files we need. Outside component, we need to initialize Swiper. So Swiper core.use, and we need to use an array. And inside the array, we need to pass this keyboard scroll bar thing. Okay, so I will just delete the card media here. And I have forgot to import the components. I have imported the Swiper component and the Swiper slide component from Swiper/React. This one was from Swiper core. And these are the CSS files. So let's add the Swiper component, Swiper. And inside the Swiper component, we need to map over our images. So first I will store our images inside an array. So this is our images array, and I will just loop over here. So images.map. Then our callback function, image will be the first parameter and index will be second. And we need to return JSX. We need to return Swiper slide. Swiper slide. I will pass the key. I'm going to use index as my key, which is not recommended, but that's okay for now. As the children of Swiper slide, we need to use the card media. Card media. Again, I will add the media class name. Then I will add the image as image. Okay, so now let's see if it works or not. Okay, so we don't have any error. Let's try to slide. Okay, so we can now slide. And that was really smooth, right? Just like Instagram. But we don't see these dots or the arrows on the card. So let's add those. So we need to add some props to Swiper component. So first prop I will pass is grab cursor. And for keyboard swiping, we need to use keyboard prop, which will be an object. And we have to pass enabled to true. Next, we need to use pagination, which will also be an object. We need to pass clickable to true. And for the navigation, just pass the navigation prop. And if you want the slides to have a looping feature, that, then just pass loop. Okay, so let's save the file and see if it works. Okay, so we can now see our arrow icons and also the bullet points. So let's swipe. Okay, so swiping is really working, and it has also a loop. It never ends. Okay, so that is the main thing that I wanted to teach you. So if you want to customize these bullet points and these arrows, let me just show it to you. I need to use custom styles. So inside the use styles, I will add another property, Swiper container. Now first I need to attach padding bottom. And I will set it to 3 rem for moving this bullet button down a little bit. So let's get the swiper container. So swiper container, and we need to add the swiper container class name to the swiper component instead of swiper slide. Okay, so class name swiper container. Okay, so the bullets has moved down a bit. If you want to change the color of them, then you need to use a nested selector. To use nested selector in CSS in JS, you need to use a string explicitly as a property, and then %. I don't know how this is pronounced, so let's just ignore that. And then you need to use this class name swiper dash pagination dash bullet, and it will also be an object. To change the color, we need to use the background color, and the background color I will set it to blue. Okay, so as you can see that the color has been changed. So let's customize these arrow icons. I want to make them a little bit small, so we need to use 2 pseudo selectors. I will just paste the property name. This will select the next button, actually the next arrow, and we need to use font size. I will make it 2 rem, and also I'm going to use important, because without important it doesn't work. And also for the before icon, and I will change next to before. Okay, so let's save the file. Okay, so that didn't work. Okay, so actually the bang sign will be before important. Now it should work. Okay, so the after button has been changed, but not the before one. Actually, it's not going to be before, it is going to be previous, actually priv. Okay, so the both of our arrows has been resized, and we can also swipe. I can also do it with my keyboard. I'm not using my mouse, okay? I'm using my keyboard. It's really working. So if you want to customize it more, you can do it. That was super easy, right? And that's it for this video. I hope you have learned a lot from it. Before I go, I would like to give you a quick shameless plug. We can solve the imposter syndrome problem by sharing our stupid thoughts and failure stories openly. So I have developed a social media application called Confession, and it is also an open source application. You can also like posts, comment posts, you can also upload pictures, you can also set up your profiles, you can also follow others, and it also has a simple newsfeed. So it has almost everything that a social media application needs. So please give it a try. I will put the link on the description, and also you are very welcome to contribute to this project. So if the video has been helpful for you, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel. If you have any question, please comment down below. You can also reach out to me on any social media like LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram as thatonzone, and I will see you in the next video.